Okay, so now I want you to go ahead and pause the video and try to do this one, and then I'm gonna continue doing the problem and you can play it and check your answer once you're done. Okay, so the first thing we need is to find out, is it vertical or horizontal? Our bigger number a, which is a squared is 49, that's under x, so I know this has got to be horizontal. Then you want to find what your center is, which is negative 2, 0, hk. Then I want to find all my vertices, so I'm going to say v sub x, negative 2 plus or minus my a, because that's what's under my x, and the square root of 49 is 7. And if you want, you can write it out. Negative 2 plus 7 is 50, and negative 2 minus 7 is negative 90. You don't have to write it out. You could just leave it as negative 2 plus or minus 7 comma 0. Then we want to find the v sub y, my y vertices, or my co-vertices. So that's negative 2 comma 0 plus or minus, we look at what's under the y, 4, and the square root of 4 is 2. And if you want to write it out, that would be negative 2 comma positive 2 and negative 2 comma negative 2. Then we want to find our foci. We're going to add it to our x, plus or minus c to our x, because it's horizontal. And we got to find c. C squared equals a squared minus b squared, and that's 49 minus 4, which equals 45. And then, so c squared equals 45, and we would square root it. So c will equal 3 root 5 if we write it in simplest radical form. And then we would graph our center, negative 2, 0. I'm going to go 7 left and 7 right from my center because the square root of 49 is 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that would be negative 9. Up and down, I'm going to go 2 because that's the square root of 4. 1, 2, your minor axis or co-vertices. I'm going to combine these all together. And again, you can look at your points, that you actually found the points and graph them, or you can just count as I did. So from your center, you're going 3 root 5 or root 45. That's almost 7. That's like 6 point, let's say 7, just about 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then a little bit. And that's going to be one of your foci. This is your center. And we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a little bit. And that's your foci. So you can kind of eyeball it. And that should be your graph. So moving on, sometimes you're going to get an equation that's not in your nice standard form like you're used to seeing. And so what we can do is we have to put it in that nice vertex form. So the first thing you want to do is group together your x's and your y's. So I'm going to say x squared plus 6x plus 4y squared minus 8y. And I'm going to move over my constant 9. That's going to equal negative 9. So I'm going to group together my x's and my y's. And just like with parabolas, we're going to have to complete the square. In order to complete the square, you cannot have an a term. So we got to factor out this 4 from the y. And we have x squared plus 6x. I'm going to take out a 4 from my y parenthesis. And that leaves me with y squared minus 2y. That's going to equal -9. Now I can go ahead and find b over 2 quantity squared for each parenthesis. So for my x parenthesis, that's 6 over 2 squared, which is 3 squared, which is 9. And for the y parenthesis, that's 2 over 2 squared, which is 1 squared, which is 1. So I'm going to add the 9 to the x parenthesis because that's where it came from. X squared plus 6x plus 9. And I'm going to add the 1 to the y parenthesis because that's where it came from. So 4 times y squared minus 2y plus 1. And when I add to the left side, I also have to add to the right side. So I added a 9, but we have to be careful. When we have a number that we took out, a number in front of the parenthesis, we have to multiply it back. So I'm not going to add 1, I'm going to add 4 times 1, which is 4. Again, I have to multiply this outside number times the number I added in, 4 times 1, and that's how I get 4 outside here. Then I can simplify this. I can say x squared, if I want to factor the left side, I'm sorry, that's going to be x plus 3 quantity squared. And plus 4 for the y parenthesis, I can factor that to be y minus 1 squared. And that's going to equal 9 minus -9 and +9 cancel out, and we're left with 4. Last step, your ellipse equation always has to equal 1. So I have to divide everything by 4 because I want to get this number on the right to equal 1. And so your final answer, these will cancel out. Your final answer is x plus 3 quantity squared over 4 plus y minus 1 quantity squared. 4 divided by 4 is 1, and that will equal 1. Now we have our vertex form equation. Now I can find everything. I can say that the center is -3, +1. Your 4 is your A, that's a bigger number, so it's going to be horizontal. Always important to know. My V sub x is going to be -3 plus or minus, my A value is 2, the square root of 4, comma 1. My V sub y, -3, comma 1 plus or minus the square root of 1, your B, which is 1. And we're going to, because it's horizontal, we're going to add C to our x part for our foci. So it's going to be -3 plus or minus our C value. We have to find that. And C squared equals A squared minus B squared, which equals 3. So C equals the square root of 3. So I'm going to graph my center, -3, +1. X is horizontal, so I'm going to go left and right, 2. That's my A. Oh, that's not 2. I'm going to go to the right 2, and from my center to the left 2. I'm going to go up and down 1 because that's your B for your Y. and I have my 4 vertices there. Go ahead and connect my ellipse. And then your C is, we're adding root 3. Root 3 is almost 2. That's 1.7. So we'll put it right about there and call it the foci. Same thing over here. And now we have found everything and we have graphed it. Here's all our information. Okay, so I'm gonna have you guys, I'm gonna stop this video, go ahead and try this one, and I will continue this problem with the beginning of video number 3.